Hello, welcome back to another episode of Two Fat Nerds. I am Bob at the soundboard. I'm joined by Tiny and Dubs.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm trying really hard not to just fucking die from laughter right now.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sound of a retard.
That's the thing about you and your stupid fucking intros.
We are three idiots that like to just talk about shit.
Now there's a fucking intro.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one.
And
That's a keeper.
Today's topic of choice, we've covered sports, we've covered movies, we've covered Dungeons and Dragons. Today we are covering video games.
See, Bob, that's all the fucking harder that shit needs to be.
Shut the hell up.
Sit over here trying to reinvent the wheel and shit. Sounds like a fucking sophomore in front of a speech class.
Anyway, talking about video games.
You said that already.
Yeah, I'm aware, but you keep interrupting me.
Yeah, the audience doesn't need a recap. So about the now I feel like I'm the outlier, but I feel like I'm the only one in my generation that started on the SNES.
I would have to agree. At least between the people at this table.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to in my age group all started on the NES.
Yeah, I think. Well, as the old man at the table, yeah, I definitely started at the NES.
Yeah, I started NES also. At least that or the Sega, whichever one. I kind of had both growing up.
Yeah, I don't know. I've like as far as just over time with console choice goes, I'm all over the map. Yeah, I started off on NES. I've never in my life owned an SNES. I've had a Sega Genesis instead. Then I went back to Nintendo 64. Then I went to a PlayStation 2. Never owned a PlayStation 1. And then I also got myself an Xbox. Then I got a 360. Never bought a PS3. Then I got the Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. So yeah, I'm all over the map. I really don't have console loyalty. Oh, and I got a Wii at some point too.
So I've went from the NES, SNES. I had a Sega. I don't remember which one it was. And that wasn't even mine. It was my mom's that she just gave to me. I at some point had I got an N64. I had a Sega Dreamcast. I had a PS1. Had a PS2. Then I got a PS3. Got a Xbox. Got a PS4.
Yeah.
I said Sega Dreamcast. I got a Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah,
I don't know if I said
that.
That's really about it. I've kind of been... It's not because... Some of that stuff was just given to me, too. So, like, the only thing I went out of my way to buy was a Sega Dreamcast and my PS4.
Fair enough. Dubs?
I don't think I've ever bought a console, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay, well, I mean, a lot of the consoles that we've mentioned, we did not personally buy ourselves.
Like, I started on the SNES, went from that to the 64. We had a PS1 briefly at the same time that we had a 64. Then we had a PS2 and a GameCube at the same time. We didn't really have dick for either of them. Then I got an Xbox. And then I've just gone through the Xbox family ever since.
Yeah, I was going to say, for you, it sounds like just the rest is history once
Yeah.
you got an Xbox.
I got an Xbox, and then I found out what Halo was.
Yep. Yep, that would probably, like, honestly, if one thing has remained consistent with my acquisition of consoles, it would be the fact that because of Halo, I have gone out of my way to acquire every generation of Xbox.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I don't really have a dog in the console wars. Like, I don't have a dog in that fight. It was just nothing I wanted to play was Sony exclusive.
No, that's fair.
Whereas the Xbox is the only way I could play Halo, so it wasn't really much of a decision.
Yeah,
Like at that point, web software, graphics, control, whatever.
Yeah,
that
no, that was all. That's all nonsensical. It's trivial at best.
Well, the only people that cared about that were PC players.
I don't know. I remember talking to a bunch of Sony fanboys growing up that cared a lot about it.
It's because they had nothing else to write on. I'll be honest. They had nothing else to write on.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if we want to rag on fucking Sony fanboys, especially from the PS2 era,
Right.
Where's your internal memory?
Right.
No, instead you're stuck having to buy
Even
memory
when they-
8 megabytes at a time.
Right. Like, even when they were being manufactured, I don't recall ever seeing an Xbox memory card. I knew they existed.
Well, yeah, that's because you didn't fucking need them.
I actually had one.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
yours
not
was one of
denying.
the first ones I've ever seen in person.
And I'll tell you this right now, the only reason I had one is because I can't remember the game that me and my friends used to play. It was this weird party game, but we could take our characters and play on our own console and level them up. But the only way to, because we all couldn't play on the same console, so we'd all stay in the same level. Because you remember the group text days where you're like, "Hey, what level are you? Where did you get in the story?" We would do that, and then we would meet up at someone's house on the weekends after school, and we would play the crap out of that game, party level. Oh, time to go back home now. So that's the only reason I had one. And realistically, I bought it for $3 from Gamers back in the day.
Damn.
It was a used off-brand, like, Xbox memory card.
I remember in the early days of Xbox, like, the only reason, like, I had a couple of friends that had memory cards because they would come over and we'd play local all the time. And they would just bring their memory cards to fucking have their fucking, like, COD dossiers or their fucking, what was the other big thing they always had? Yeah, it was really just COD, like, fucking COD progress was the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew, like, back then, I knew that memory cards for the Xbox existed. I had never actually laid eyes on one, though, until probably sophomore, junior year of high school.
And Battlefront. They would transport their fucking Battlefront progress. Because that shit was tied to your profile.
Yeah.
Like, aside from, like, if we wanted to do LAN parties, you were basically at the mercy of whatever the hell people had on their Xbox at that time.
Well,
unless you wanted to piss off everybody and go through the motions of creating your very own character for a Halo 2 match or whatever.
Well, see, here's what me and my friends did. We actually because we all played Xbox, we all had an Xbox. And that was mostly because we decided as a group that Halo was the party game.
So your friends actually had functioning brains.
Yeah, it was as it was meant to be.
So all of us each had our own Xboxes where we all took time to put our profiles on everyone's Xbox. Especially at my buddy Brent's house, where that was the main Halo house. He had the party Xbox, where everyone who LAN'd had their profiles on.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, eventually you play you do enough LAN parties and everybody's going to get their chance to create a profile on every Xbox. It's what I'm mostly going after is like the one-offs, like the people that just show up because they have nothing better going on a Saturday night. Yeah, and then they insist on making a character at that point. Like, you can't just borrow someone else's, because it's not like at that time, it's not like your stats were attached to that one character.
Yeah, we relegated them to the guest profile until they showed up more than twice.
Which is fair.
Because we had some, high school kids would bop in, bop out because they hear us playing. Oh, we're playing Halo this weekend. Oh, I want to come play Halo. Okay, cool. So, I also forgot I had a PC growing up too. I had an actual gaming PC growing up. I mean, that wasn't saying a whole lot when we were growing up, but I did a lot of Diablo 2 and StarCraft and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So that's where a lot of my gaming hours went to as a kid growing up, was the the hardcore like Diablo 2 and stuff like that.
Now, see, this is where I truly do feel like awkward and weird as far as a gamer goes, because PC gaming is just something that I have never really been able to get into. Like I just can't, and I think that I just didn't grow up with it. Like my parents, they had one computer in the household, and that was an office computer, and it was to be used for office work only for the most part. Either that or like searching on the internet. Like the thought of playing a video game on there never
Just
really
non-existent.
just non-existent.
Yeah. I had my own computer, and that was mostly because my father bought it for me, and he's like, "Here, have a computer." So I got to pick some stuff I wanted on it, because that's when Dell was really big and you could customize your computer.
Right.
So he gave me a limit. I did a little tweaking as much as my little brain understood about computers, mostly from just going online and finding what I could read or talking to people. And yeah, I kind of built a minor gaming computer. I mean, it didn't do much, but it was enough to do what I needed it to without crashing every other day.
You mean Diablo and StarCraft?
Yeah. Diablo 2 is a time suck.
Right.
Like StarCraft, Diablo 2,
I put years into StarCraft.
yeah,
And I'm still putting time into it, and I'll not apologize for it.
right? Like that's why I'm excited they're remaking Diablo 2 for I'm like, great, more time. I'm like, my friends will never see me ever again. It's just horrible, but I don't care. It'll be fun.
Like, the only reason I haven't been playing StarCraft lately is because I don't have a computer, and that's because I'll be fucked if I'm spending $800 on a goddamn graphics card.
Singular graphics card.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody always says that it's just super cheap to buy a piece to just build your own gaming PC, and maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just not particularly interested.
Well, it was cheap 2 years ago, and then the pandemic happened, and now there's shortages. So
right, because everybody had to lock themselves into their home, and so they figured, oh well, I'll just spend my stimmy checks, but to build my own gaming PC.
well, it's not just that, but it's the people that build the conductors and the chips and everything can't work. So
And they can't work remotely.
yeah. So
Yeah,
eventually
that's fair.
and you are right though too. There are people sitting at home and they go, well, I got nothing better to do, so I'm going to build a gaming PC so I can actually play stuff online, because I can constantly buy stuff on Steam for
And you have people shooting their shot at Bitcoin and all this other shit.
Yeah, that's actually probably what's killing the market more, is people that are cryptocurrency mining. That's actually probably killing the market more than anything.
I don't know. Could be.
Well, there's a guy, I believe, out in Iowa, because I've seen him on TikTok a few times. He legitimately has a shelter that he turned into crypto mining. And every one of those PCs, he has I don't remember how many PCs he has, but every PC requires a graphics card.
Interesting.
And there's people that now, from my understanding, talking to the couple people that I know that do it, you need at least 10, 15 computers mining to make it worth your time and effort. So,
Well, then.
yeah, it's kind of stupid. So,
Yeah, Halo. That was definitely the big reason why. I mean, I say that I don't have console loyalty. It not out of preference for a console. It's just like Dub said. If Halo had been on PlayStation as well, who the hell knows what I would have gotten?
Right? Probably would have just gone with whatever my friends were playing at the time.
Yeah, realistically, I probably would have gone along the same way.
And at the time, it was mostly Xbox anyway. So, for the same exact reason.
Yeah, it's just like my favorite game just happened to be on Xbox, and so that was the way I went.
Right?
It really wasn't any sort of a preference from one console based on the console characteristics and specs over another. It was just
I wanted to play Halo.
Yeah, I wanted to play Halo.
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't too proud to play a PlayStation. John, that's all he ever had was a PlayStation. I had no problems playing on that. It's just, I wanted to play Halo.
Yeah, hell, as far as that generation of consoles goes, the first one I got was a PlayStation 2. And
It was
then,
affordable.
Yeah, it was affordable.
Yeah,
and then I went over to a friend's place and he introduced me to Halo, and the rest was history. I'm like, I like my PlayStation, but there ain't no damn Halo on this thing. I need an Xbox 2 now.
See, the biggest reason I had a PlayStation growing up, it was mostly because me and my friends were into the WWE games.
Oh, yep.
And PlayStation, Activision had just the better stuff on PlayStation. Like, it just was. And that's where a lot of my time and effort went into, was the rest of the games.
You could pick up a Slim for next to nothing.
$125.
Yeah, once they actually came out with the PS2 Slims, those are rock bottom cheap.
I hated them, though.
I wouldn't know. I never owned one.
I never had an issue with one.
I had 2 of them. First one we had to return because it overheated.
Yeah, I heard that was an issue with the early Slims.
Yeah, I can see how it would be.
And then I decided...
Cram a lot of shit into a small space.
And then I got it back. I got another one because they just replaced it. And then I took some of my summer money and got my fat one fixed. It was like $25. Got it fixed. And I just used my fat one until I moved on.
Fair enough.
I also had an external memory boost for my fat one too, so
that was my main issue. That was honestly my only beef with the Sony consoles, is fucking fighting tooth and nail for any fucking storage space.
Yeah, that if I had to
having to curate a collection of memory cards to store my fucking shit was just the most irritating fucking thing ever.
Oh yeah, I'll never deny that one.
Yeah, that's really the only bone I can truly pick with the PlayStation 2. It's like I said earlier, where's your internal memory?
Like, I wouldn't even mind if it wasn't internal, if there was just space.
Yeah.
Like, fucking... even now, like, just to play Champions North, you have to have a whole fucking 64-bit fucking memory card just to play that one game.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking dumb.
I mean, it's crazy now because they were selling you memory 8 megabytes at a time. We have on
if
the
I had
Xbox
a watch
One,
with only 8 megabytes, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, like now you can't even get a save file on an Xbox One that is less than 8 megabytes.
I get all excited if I can get a game for just 1 gig. Yeah, like just the retro games getting remade. Oh my god, it's only a 1 gig game.
Yeah, that is something that it actually drives me fucking insane now about new systems. Holy God, games take up a fuck ton of space.
But there's a reason for that though. You're getting more game features, better graphics, etc. like that, etc.
Yeah,
you know what it takes to do that? Code.
Yeah, unfortunately, content has more content now.
Yeah, but what annoys me most, and it's mostly because I have to get to the new systems, but even I'm seeing it with people that still have the new systems. When you get a game and then you download a patch for it that's bigger than the game itself.
Oh, we're talking about Fallout 76, aren't we?
That and some other games. Just some of it's like some of the freebie games that we play, like tanks and like warships. Some of those patches are ridiculous in size. It's one reason I stopped playing tanks, because I got tired of waiting 3 hours for my fucking patch to download.
Mother of God.
I've seen that happen if I miss a couple. It's because of the season updates. If you stay up on it, it's not so bad. It's just when you have to download multiple season updates at a time.
Still, though. Also, Grand Theft Auto 5 was not a very nice game for any system.
No.
That was a rowdy game. When I stopped playing, I had to delete everything off my system except for a couple key save files, so I could actually have a system with space again. Also, any Bethesda game, not just 76, but oh my fucking God, if you had the PS3 and you were trying to play more than 3 Skyrim characters at any given time. Don't do it, kids. Turn autosave off or you'll lose everything.
Or in fucking, Oblivion, we're going to choose between playing other games or having the Oblivion DLC.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, either that or external hard drive.
Shut up.
No. That was a frustrating part of it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what he's saying though.
Yeah.
You picked. Does this Xbox only play Oblivion, or do I get to do other things?
And if you choose other things and Oblivion,
Well, that means you have a terabyte hard drive sitting there.
yes,
Yeah, exactly.
That's precisely what I'm.
Or you
getting
do like autistic crap like I would do, and I would cannibalize 60 gig hard drives from other Xboxes and use the transfer cable and treat them like a flash drive.
at. That okay? Yeah, no, that works. Obviously, it works because you did it.
It was dumb.
But did it work?
Yeah.
Then it's not dumb.
Oh, yes, it was.
No, well, okay, fine, whatever.
No, the act of it being done can
Just
be
looking
done.
at my console with this ridiculous dumbass umbilical going to some...
Actually, you know what? I thought of like the epitome of if it's dumb but it works, is it still dumb? Yes, it's still dumb. Putting out a fire using more gasoline.
Yep.
It's the prescribed method for
For nothing?
putting out an oil fire is you set off a smaller explosion right next to it.
Oil people know much about that.
Sucks away the oxygen.
Yeah, I get it.
I didn't invent physics.
He just doesn't like it. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't have to like it in order for it to be true. Okay.
Okay.
so let's go. Nice one.
Nice.
So let's go back to like some of the systems we played. Besides the obvious games that we all got stuck on, because like we could all rave about Xbox and Halo and
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the N64.
well, let's go back to all the systems and think what game was the one game besides the obvious like Halo or like the wrestling games that we would pick from a system. So like SNES or NES or even N64 and stuff like that. What's like the one game
Oh boy.
that you let's even go better, a single player game or a multiplayer game? Because I know I had, especially if we go to the N64, I had a couple multiplayer games that I loved playing with friends, but then I always had the single player game in the
Okay.
back.
All right. No, I'm up for the challenge.
If I had to pick one multiplayer from the N64,
Oh, is that where we're starting with?
Let's just start with N64 because I feel like that's the one we're going to remember the best, probably.
All right.
that's when I really developed a gaming community. I wasn't just
I didn't know how far back we wanted.
like
Right.
somewhere.
I didn't know how far back we wanted to dig into this.
So let's just start with the N64. I feel
All
like
right.
that's a good place to start.
Go on.
It's probably a toss-up between Smash Brothers and freaking GoldenEye, but probably Smash Brothers had more time into it.
For a single player game, I'd have to go with Star Fox 64. And I mean realistically, I could probably say that for a party game too, but I won't. For a party game, really maybe I loved Battle Tanks. God, did I love Battle Tanks. Battle Tanks or maybe Vigilante 8.
Vigilante 8. Yeah. That was the family game. That tells you how well adjusted we were.
Or one of the early Mario Party games. I couldn't tell you which one.
My friends banned Mario Party.
Yeah, we
Like the parents got together and banned Mario Party.
yeah, the house where the community N64 was, the parents of that child specifically told us, "Hey, no." And we're like, "Why? You broke a controller on our fireplace mantle." Okay, that makes total sense.
The parents took exception to the fist fights that would come from Mario Party.
Now, if I'm feeling particularly sadistic for a single player game on the N64, I'd maybe go Ocarina of Time or probably just Ocarina of Time.
I put a lot of time into Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, so for me, my
or
single
masochistic. I said sadistic. I meant masochistic.
single player is definitely Ocarina of Time. I don't know how many nights, days, whatever you want to call it when you don't have to go to school for like long periods of time and you just live in front of a TV.
Yeah, it's called summer break.
Yeah, there you go. many moons of that. And multiplayer was Gauntlet.
I played a good amount of Gauntlet, nowhere near as much as I did like fucking GoldenEye and fucking.
See, my friends, we learned really early that we couldn't play GoldenEye because we got to the point where we just started doing stupid shit, and it was mostly proximity wars.
Oh, that was hardcore shit we did in was that GoldenEye or what was that? No, that was definitely GoldenEye in the complex. Proximity mine wars in the complex.
God.
Did you guys find the safe spot that can't be touched?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just stand in that stupid window and throw proximity mines, chain reaction the rest of the complex. You stay in the magical corner where fire can't go.
Yep.
Calm down, Ducky.
We'll see. I was also the dickhead in our game group that played Odd Job.
God, you're an
Okay,
asshole.
yeah, that would not have happened in my group of friends.
Yeah, he actually got banned in my group of friends.
Well, he didn't get banned in my group. We just banned the character.
he got banned.
Oh.
Like the character got banned in my group of friends
yeah,
because
no
we had
odd
an
job.
asshole just like him.
So it'd be proximity mine wars and my hat.
Never mind the hat. It's a smaller hitbox. Fuck that.
Oh, I didn't get yelled at for that because my brother played Knick-Knack.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, he would switch back and forth between Knick-Knack and Jaws. Either tiny hitbox or double the health of everyone else. I hated Jaws, man. Like, damn, that asshole could soak. I mean, I feel like his melee attacks did more damage too, to be honest.
Yeah, they did feel like that.
Like, I don't remember anybody else being able to kill me in 3 hits.
No, you said Gauntlet though. Honestly, until I started playing video games with you guys, I had never touched the N64 Gauntlet.
It's one of those really weird games. A neighbor introduced it to us, and I had a hard time tracking my copy down. Mostly, I think a lot of people got away from it because it needed the expansion for the N64, that graphics expansion. Mm-hmm. And when the game came out, that graphics expansion was about as expensive as a game.
Right.
So most kids were going to choose between game or accessory for game. They were going to take game.
Yeah.
And
My first experience with Gauntlet was the game cabinet version.
Yeah.
Like, my first experience with Gauntlet was just on the NES.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. OG.
Yeah.
OG
Right.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, the original Gauntlet. That's my experience with it.
It's like a Gauntlet that they ripped out of the cabinet and put in a cartridge. Like,
Yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
single player, though, it'd probably be Zelda, but honestly, Turok wouldn't be that far behind either.
That's solid.
I played the absolute shit out of Turok too.
you know, fun fact, had it, never got it that much into
I
it.
never beat the game.
My neighbor was super into it.
Yeah, I've never beaten any of the Turok games, but
I couldn't beat River of Souls. I kept getting stuck. I got so lost on that map.
don't think No. Holy shit, Turok. Man, that's a trip down memory lane right there. So I think we pretty well covered N64, though.
So,
Do we want to go? What console do we want to do next?
I mean, technically, the next console for me would have been a Dreamcast. No, you guys didn't probably play those.
no,
Nope.
never.
And for me, I had this really cool racing game. It was like off-road racing that I played the absolute hell out of. No. Wasn't just that. I had a Railroad Tycoon game that I played the absolute hell out of for my Sega. And then I had an online game, like Phantasy Star Online. That game was the shit. And I am so happy I have a copy of it again. Sad all the servers and everything's gone now.
Uh-huh.
But I had an online. That was my first experience playing online with a console. Had the cord going into the back of it and everything. It was great.
Well, that kind of... Unfortunately, we only had one person here that had a Dreamcast. That kind of clear as that one.
Yeah, it's just that's.
We don't have anything to relate it to.
And really, I only bought the Dreamcast because my neighbor had Phantasy Star, and I wanted to play it, so I put my money together and got a Dreamcast.
Fair enough.
I still have it. You want to talk about memory cards? Holy crap, those things were inefficient as hell. Oh my god. You get one character. What about the rest of it? We'll talk about that depending on game size. Lol. The only cool thing about those memory cards though, they actually had a little screen and you could actually flip through and see what was on them and delete stuff without turning on the console.
Interesting.
They were really cool in that aspect.
Well, I suppose we would probably move on to PlayStation 2.
Yeah, first gen.
Yeah, second gen.
Or, yeah, I guess,
Well,
we can go first generation PlayStation.
yeah, we can talk PlayStation 1, I guess.
I played enough of it at my cousin's place that I could talk about it.
See, what did I... Oh,
Spyro was my single player game.
Single player game? Probably Resident Evil 2.
Spyro. Spyro was my big game. I don't think I really had a party game though. By this time a lot of my friends didn't play many multiplayer.
Multiplayer for PlayStation 1, like a party game? That would have to be the Twisted Metal games.
Yeah, see, I didn't really get into Twisted Metal until PS2.
Yeah, I didn't play party games on the PS1. It was all, like, honestly, the game I played on PS1 was Fire Emblem.
Okay.
I guess if I had, my game specifically was Spyro, but I put a fair amount of hours into the Final Fantasy games.
Oh, God, yeah, that's hard to forget about those. I would probably...
Or even... let me check, that might be it.
I definitely... It's so underrated, but I would... Between the Final Fantasy games for PlayStation 1, I would go with 8. 8 or 9.
9.
7
9.
is... 7's good. It's really good, but it is overrated.
It's not that great.
No, it is. It's a great game, but it is overrated.
For me, it was too overrated to actually... I mean, I beat it. I did the 100% beat of that game. It's the first game I ever beat 100%, and I hate myself to this day for it, because fuck the Golden Chocobo. Fuck that thing. PTSD moment of that goddamn thing. But I don't think it's... I mean, it's a good game for what it is, but it's just super overrated, and because of how many people talk it up, it really just... Because I think 9 is a really good game.
It is a really good game.
Like, 9 and 8 are really good games. 9 just ticks it just a little bit more for me than 8, but they're, like, right there next to each other.
No, that's totally fair. Personally, I would probably take 8 over 9, but I mean, that all boils down to personal preference.
Yeah,
at
you're
that point.
yeah.
But no, 7, great game, a bit overrated in my opinion. It's or maybe even not even overrated. If overrated and overhyped are the same thing, then yes, I would say that is the case.
Yeah, I agree with you there. 100%.
But okay, so moving on to PlayStation 2.
We can talk Xbox if we're talking first gen consoles.
Well, PlayStation 2 and Xbox were
Yeah.
actually technically the same generation.
That's true.
Like the OG Xbox, it came out at the same time as the PS2.
Yep.
That's fair.
So, yeah, PS2, single player game, Final Fantasy X. Next.
It's KOTOR. Like, holy shit, the amount of hours I put into KOTOR.
If we're talking PlayStation, Final Fantasy X. If we're
I
talking,
didn't really have a PS2. Like,
if
not
you're
for very
talking
long.
Xbox, KOTOR. Oh my god!
26 playthroughs.
I know I broke 20. I don't know what I stopped counting.
I
at
just
20.
played through it again.
I know you did. And I hate you.
Didn't really do any party games on a PS2.
Wrestling games.
If it would, then Xbox,
Halo.
Insert
Halo,
Halo.
no.
Insert Halo theme here.
yeah. So, Halo doesn't matter which one. Halo 1, Halo 2, both single player and party game. Like it's not even a competition.
Yeah, 100%. Like for party game, it was straight. Yeah. You know what though? What came a close party game for PS2 for my group? Guitar Hero.
Okay, all right. I forgot about Guitar Hero. Yeah, I'll give you that. I was shitty at it. I could not play it to save my life, but
like Rock Band and Guitar Hero
game.
became like I would literally go to parties and people would just have a PlayStation 2 on just to play like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Like that was literally all they had PS2s for. They didn't play anything else but Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Like, I mean, if I had to pick the because in my group it became the same way for a while too, because we all just what it was. But
fair enough. Yeah, probably move on to PS3 and Xbox 360 then.
God, single player PS3. I mean, I was a sports fanatic for single player games. When I got a PS3, it was all about sports games. Madden, NCAA, you name it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But when it came to party games, Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, Modern Warfare 2 especially.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
How many... So this was something me and my friends used to do when we crashed at our buddy's house. We would all take turns playing online. Like you would go, you die, you pass the controller. That's what we used to do.
Yeah, for PlayStation 3, I got nothing because I never owned one, and I didn't play one often enough with somebody else to say one thing one way or the other. Xbox 360, though, it's not even a contest. Halo 3. Both
Actually,
single player and party.
Now that I think about it, we did have a party game on the PS2. DBZ Budokai.
See, I didn't start playing...
Tenkaichi series.
You know, funny, I didn't really start playing that until after I left my old group. Like, that wasn't until, like, high school when we just started messing around with that. And that was just because we did a lot of retro gaming, so we had PS2s and stuff like that.
All right.
But yeah, Xbox One. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2 especially was the big thing.
God, that was
single player? Fable was a big chunk of that.
See, I didn't really have when you talk Xbox 360, I really didn't have a single player because I didn't own one. I just hung out with my friends who happened to have them, and if they played Fable, I'd help them play Fable. I just kind of played whatever they were playing. Because by this point, I was playing a lot more computer stuff, too. Because, like, I also found Morrowind. Bob knows that feel, right?
Yeah, for Xbox, but yes.
Yeah.
On the 360, I put a ton of time into Oblivion.
You see, I mean, I know technically Skyrim was more made. Came out for 360, but that has definitely been more of a one game for me.
Well, because that came out, I think I was in
2011.
Yeah, it was like right my first semester of college. I knew getting into that game when it came out was a fucking mistake. I wouldn't do it.
I waited 2.5 months after it came out so I could finish my current quarter of school, so that going into Christmas break, the first thing I bought the day we were done, I remember getting out of class, driving to Walmart, buying it, going home, and not seeing daylight for 3 solid days.
My dumbass was waiting in line at a GameStop the night it came out. So, yeah, and I even asked for 3 days of leave to go just to fucking nerd out on it when I was in the Navy. And for whatever stupid ass reason, they actually gave that time off to me.
Bob shows up, his eyes all bloodshot. What have you been doing? You been on a bender? I mean, I've been playing video games. Does that count?
Yeah.
Eyes are all bloodshot because you're literally just glued to the TV the whole time.
Yeah, and I even had to tell my boss, like, look, Mac, if I tell you that I'm gonna be leaving to, like, for my lunch break, if I leave the boat if I say I need to leave the boat for any reason whatsoever, do not let me leave. Do not let me leave. Strap me down to a fucking chair if you have to, and spoon feed me my lunch. I don't care. Do not let me leave this boat because I will not come back. Because I need to play my fucking Skyrim.
Yeah, that was definitely like. God, I keep forgetting how long the PS3 was actually around. Like, because fuck, for party games, I could almost say Dynasty Warriors too.
Oh, shit.
See, I never really played the Dynasty Warriors
Me and
games.
Dubs would like.
I've beaten 5 100% 3 times.
Me and Dubs would like to sing you a story about us being unemployed.
We played Dynasty. That was what we did. We played Dynasty Warriors and watched Star Trek.
That is what we did for like a month. Like, no joke. I basically lived at his grandparents' house for like 3 weeks. And all we did would wake up, eat a frozen pizza that we would just wing into the microwave, proceed to fat-ass tortilla.
It was a glorious time.
Proceed to fat-ass tortilla, roll that thing, sit there, watch the morning Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, because BBC was like constantly playing Star Trek.
All it was Star Trek. Would you let BBC is like, do we have other stuff? Yeah, but we're going to feed you Star Trek.
It was Star Trek and Top Gear. Like, that was it. It was just Star Trek.
It was literally like I said, pizza, tortilla roll pizza, sit and watch the first 2-3 episodes of morning Star Trek. Mostly the episodes we watched the night before because we couldn't be damned to figure out where we were in that continuity line at this point.
It was a simpler time.
Then proceed to turn on the old Xbox and proceed to beat Dynasty Warriors. We do that until sometime between lunch and dinner whenever his grandpa yelled at us for food.
Because we had to unlock all 5 weapons for every character, and there's like 50 of them.
You have to do some very specific things at the end.
Me looking up the walkthroughs, Tiny, we gotta do this. Why?
Building a character to spite someone in our group.
Yeah, it came down to it. Like, more often than not, I would play whatever dumb character we needed the weapon for, and I would focus on completing that one objective while Tiny handled actually winning the mission, so we got to keep whatever I won.
Bigum's sword does a lot of damage.
Tiny was basically having to shoulder 2-player difficulty on like hard and legendary difficulties by himself and win the battle while I'm off completing some very stupid specific requirement.
We're trying to find something within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, because I have to chase... Oh my god, Wuzhang planes.
We don't talk about that ever. Anyway.
When I have a friggin' 45-second window to kill some idiot. Right, because it's not like I could go get him early. I had to wait for him to spawn. And I have 45 seconds to kill him before he reaches a checkpoint and screws up the battle. And I had to walk through one of the hardest people to fight in that mission to get to him.
And then after we had our several hours of playing and then dinner, we would actually take a break. Mostly we would walk out to the back porch, go, fresh air, and then go right back into another frozen pizza and more Star Trek and Top Gear.
Especially that mission, because I'm forcing you to run all over the battlefield to put out fires as they're popping up.
Thank God for the horses.
Is it fair to say that not all of us may have owned a Wii, but we were definitely exposed enough to it?
Not really.
I got exposed to it.
Okay, so because my game was going to be Brawl.
Yeah,
Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yeah.
See, it was really shitty because like when I was exposed to the Wii, people used the Wii Sports thing. That was like what everyone played.
I liked Wii Sports too. Like I thoroughly enjoyed Wii Bowling.
Oh, I enjoyed Wii Sports. It was just that's what everyone played. No one cared about Brawl with the people I knew that owned Wii.
Well, not only were those people wrong, they were also stupid.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just had no control over who owned the Wii and what they did.
No, that's fair.
I was there and participated.
That's fair. No, I'll go with that.
Okay, so I guess PS4 and Xbox Ones now.
Yeah, PS4 and Xbox One. My exposure to PS4 is so limited. Like, I bought a PS4 for one fucking game. That was
PS4 experience was on yours.
Yeah.
MLB The Show. That was it. So I guess I would have to say MLB The Show for PS4. For Xbox One, I kind of said it earlier. I really only bought. I bought Skyrim. It was intended to be. It came out for the Xbox 360, but I've spent far more hours playing that on the Xbox One.
You see, I haven't owned an Xbox One. I just played it through people, so it's been a kind of a hit miss thing for me in that aspect.
Yeah, but if I were to choose a game that actually came out during the Xbox One era, it would probably be World of Warships. That'd probably be what I'd go with.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat for PlayStation because
I think
my PS4 is literally just Madden.
Yeah,
Madden and a couple other select games, but it's mostly Madden is what I devote most of my time into.
Yeah.
And even now, it's still not a lot of that. I haven't even really done a whole lot of that because the game's just annoying after a while.
Yeah, fair enough. What I'm hearing there then is that the three of us need to get together again at some point and do a franchise.
Oh, our collective autism of running a team. Oh my God.
You doing Rain Man quarterbacking.
Dubs the runner and kick returner, and Bob the almighty Jedi wide receiver.
Yeah, I swear I ignore the routes that the game provides me with, and I just tell Tiny what I'm going to run.
Or I give you a very select thing to do because I know it'll cuck the team. It'll cuck the wide receiver, the cornerback guarding you.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my!
It works like a charm.
Those games got stupid. When we started scoring 90 plus points a game, that started getting ridiculous, even with the difficulty on, like, not quite Madden, but right before, we're still putting, like, almost 90 points
Here's
up.
what I'm curious about. Does Madden have, like, like MLB The Show, it has you can set it to a dynamic difficulty setting where where the difficulty, it will increase and decrease automatically based on your skill level.
It might. If it does, I haven't played with it enough.
Okay.
I think it's got some stuff like that. Don't quote me, but it's not. I know it's not like MLB's because I've done MLB's and that's rowdy. You're like, I'm on fire, and all of a sudden you're getting shit on by the computer, and you're like, dude, I was having like a good luck streak. Why you got to do this to me?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because I thoroughly enjoy that dynamic difficulty because you can. Because, like I said, it goes up and down based on your performance.
And I love it. It's actually really fun.
Basically, it adjusts to you.
I love it. But
so it makes it as easy or as difficult as it needs to be for you.
Right. And I know I can say this. I'm probably leaving the Sony family because I'm getting a next-gen Xbox. Like, I am getting one.
Like, now that the show is coming out on Xbox Network now, I now have zero reason to get a PlayStation.
Well, for me, I like racing games a lot, and Sony just doesn't deliver in racing games. They just don't. I mean, they're fun, but I want, like, Forza. Like, I crave a Forza style game, and Sony just hasn't made it. They had the idea, but it's not. And it's like, yep.
Now is Sony, PlayStation, they do the Gran Turismo games, right?
Yeah, but it's, to me, it's realistic racing versus like what Forza is, the customization options. Like, I can take a stupid like little hatchback Honda and the game will let me put like a V8 in it.
Oh, for God's sake.
But it lets you do stuff like that. The Gran Turismo games, they're just realistic racing and you can throw mods on your cars and stuff like that. But it's just a lot of, oh, look, you're going to race around in a circle for 2.5 hours because you're going to get a realistic racing experience.
I mean,
And that's fun, but
it could be better.
Yeah, there could be better. Which is fine. Don't get me wrong. I played a bunch of the Gran Turismo games growing up. I played the absolute hell out of Gran Turismo 3. I mean, I did all the races in Gran Turismo 3.
Yeah, I can't really speak anything about racing games. I've just never been particularly good, and I think as a result never been particularly interested in them.
That's fair. I mean, racing games to me, depending on what it is, it takes a little bit to get into them. It's just like I don't like first-person shooters.
Okay, yeah, no, I get it.
Like
I consider myself to be mediocre at best on my best of days on first-person shooters, but I can still find it in me to enjoy them for some reason.
I can, but if I'm kind of one of those people that I'll enjoy it for a while and then I'm done with it. Like I could not play it for for a year and be like, okay, cool. I think that's mostly because that was what a lot of me and my friends would do. We'd hang out and play COD.
Mm-hmm.
I just got burnt out on it because that's all we do for hours on end. It's like, and I wasn't good enough to be good. I was like even like that 50-60% of our group like range. It just got annoying after a while.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, other than that, I mean, I know me and Dub shared for PC gaming, which was like Diablo 2 and StarCraft. We played a lot of those. Never played WoW. Never got into that.
No, dodge that bullet. Thank God.
We made a demotivational poster back in the day for WoW. It said World of Warcraft. It's like crack, but for the internet. Because back when we were growing up, we had an internet cafe called Dog Tags, and you could go there, you put your money, and you could get on a computer and play and all that. And the WoW people actually got discounts to play there. They're already paying for their profile to play.
Yeah.
So they would give them a discount on their hours because they're already paying to play the game.
Yeah, but they're not paying the place to play their game.
Yeah, you paid.
Yeah, I get you pay them for your hours to play the game. It's just, why are they getting are they getting a kickback from Blizzard or something?
No, it's because then people will come to the store to play WoW.
All right, I guess I see that.
Because like me and my friends, we played Battlefield or Battlefront or Battlefield. We played Battlefield too. That's what we went to go do, was play Battlefield together. You don't pay to play Battlefield. You just play it.
Yeah.
But WoW, you have to have a monthly subscription to play.
Mm-hmm.
So they cut them, like they saved them like $2 an hour or something like that.
Holy shit! How much money per hour do you gotta pay these people?
It was like $3-4 an hour or something like that.
Christ, fuck that.
Maybe it was less than that. I don't remember anymore. I know $20 got you a whole day, or $10-15 got you a whole day.
I mean, I guess that's not so bad, but Christ almighty, in the time that they're spending to play their game there, they could just buy a damn computer and
it was
pay for
actually
fucking internet.
The biggest thing was the internet was really shitty in a lot of the areas. So it was like,
yeah, but for $15 for an entire day of gameplay.
Also, it was really easy.
You could probably pay for the best internet in town.
Well, the guys didn't play there every day. Also, as a lot of the guys were in clans together, so it was easy for them to meet up on like a Saturday and raid and stuff like that together.
I mean, I suppose.
I don't understand why they did it like that, but it's just what some people did. I don't understand. The place was successful for the longest time, but I think the owner left or something like that, and it went downhill after that. So,
by the way, where the hell did Fat Fuck go?
To the bathroom, I believe.
Okay, yeah, for those of you who have been wondering why there's only 2 people talking when there's 3 people on the fucking show, Dubs just up and decided that he was too good for us.
Like always.
Yeah.
But I don't got much more to talk about game-wise. I felt like we covered a lot. If Dubs had something to say, he'd be able to say it, but he's not here
because he's being useless.
I mean, it's his lot in life.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I think we've covered a pretty solid amount of material. by all means, if you guys have anything you'd like for us to go into more about, by all means, leave something in the comments section or hit us up on our Facebook page. We are just two fat nerds. Can't really miss us on Facebook.
Not right now. Well, you might because we're still developing the page, but still.
Yeah, it's very much a work in progress, but yeah, we're going to get that up and running shortly here. So, yeah, if you guys have something you want us to talk about, by all means, let us know. And with that, we are out.